Pleasantly welcome to my channel Reddit Stories. My dramatic relationship story is about how my wife cheated on me and thought I was never going to find out about it. I am a 48-year-old male and my wife Opal is a 45-year-old woman. Opal, my wife, and I married in 2011, and that was 13 years ago. When I met Opal, she was a conservative, traditional, and modest woman, which drew me to her because she valued family above all. I met her at a charity event she was organizing. She worked with different non-profit organizations to provide charity for various causes. And that day she was with her grandmother wearing a long covered dress. She was sitting with a group of elderly women and I joined her. We were chatting and laughing because it's known most elderly people like grandmas and grandfathers never fail to make us chuckle, and those elderly liked me too. Opal and I chatted that day and that's how I got Opal's phone number and later contacted her. We were a perfect match for each other, and Opal knew that too from the beginning. We shared similar views about everything, and soon after meeting and dating each other for a few months, we decided to get married. I was working as a banker at a private bank, and Opal was working at a non-profit organization. The early years of our married life were adorable and full of satisfaction. We would visit a different country every year. And somehow Opal always had money for every trip and luxury we were having. I was proud of her for working so hard, but soon I found out that Opal was taking money out of charity accounts. She was exposed for it at her NGO. She lost her job as a result. It was a scandal that embarrassed our entire family, taking out charity money while acting so pious with everyone. I never thought Opal could do something like that. I wasn't ready to believe that even though all evidence was against my wife, she sobbed in front of me in private, confessed her mistake, and asked for forgiveness, and I did forgive her because I loved her. She never accepted her mistake in front of anyone else and kept denying all those allegations. As a husband, I protected her dignity and never questioned her in front of anyone or in private. In fact, we moved from Chicago to New York for Opal to start things from the beginning. Luckily, my bank had a branch in New York as well, so I easily got transferred and didn't have to lose my job. That high energy and vibrant culture of New York City gave us exactly what we needed at the time, an escape from our past. We were so busy setting up and exploring the city and culture that we soon forgot about the Opal money fraud. A year later, we welcomed our first child, Jetta, a girl with blue eyes who brought us so much joy, and when Opal didn't take much interest in our daughter's life, I understood she wasn't the family-oriented or traditional woman that everyone thought she was. It was an act to garner praise from people, and Opal had a habit of altering her lifestyle according to what was in a trend. When the rise of Instagram and Twitter feminism moment was in a trend, she soon became a feminist and a liberal woman. I was shocked to see the change in her beliefs. She soon cut her hair and dyed it in pink and purple, pierced her tongue. And the woman who used to wear modest clothes and now started wearing shorts and tops. I had no problem with feminism or anything, but I was shocked to see how she used to change her thoughts and beliefs according to trends. But these were not the reasons to end your relationship with your wife. So for our daughter, I was compromising and letting Opal do whatever she wanted to do, as most of the time she spent attending protests for women's rights and equality. And due to her activities and neglectful behavior towards our daughter, I had to step up and play a huge role in raising our daughter. Opal didn't have a proper job but somehow always had money. I had doubts on her because she was involved in looting money before too, so this time I decided to confront Opal before she would deceive anyone. When I confronted Opal, she started shouting and said how dared I question her, and left the house without continuing our conversation. She was so angry because she thought I should have trusted her. That night, I waited for Opal but she didn't come back. I was alone with my daughter in that city and waiting for my wife to come because she left the house in anger. I felt guilty, and as a good human being, I was worried. Around midnight, when Opal still didn't come, her phone was off. She wasn't answering to my texts or calls. I couldn't contact her. I had to call the police. They came, and as the norm saw me with an eye of suspicion, I wouldn't blame them because when you look at it, I was an unhappy husband. Looked angry and tired, alone with my daughter, and the wife was missing. Police, instead of looking for her, started questioning me. And I had to take leaves from work to be with my daughter because there was no one to care for her with Opal missing. I informed Opal's parents, and as I expected, they blamed me for being so hard on their daughter. I called my mother, and she had to come to support me in that time when I was worried about my wife, had to take care of my daughter. Had to answer police interrogation. It had been 3 days and Opal was still missing. Her friends didn't know where she was. Her parents were angry at me. I posted about my wife Opal's missing on social media. I posted her pictures everywhere. All of this was taking a mental toll on me. I kept posting on social media about Opal's disappearance because the police weren't doing much. 1 week after her disappearance, I received a call from an unknown number. I posted my phone number with Opal's picture in case someone found her and wanted to contact me. The guy from the unknown number informed me that he saw my wife Opal last night at a bar where she was working as a DJ. I took all the information from that guy. He gave me the name and address of the bar, and I went to that bar immediately, but because it was a daytime, my wife wasn't there. My daughter was with my mom at home, so I was relieved about her, and I decided to wait until the bar opened at night. I kept waiting in my car, waited for hours. It is not easy to sit in a car for hours, but I did that. I parked my car a distance from the bar so that Opal wouldn't notice me. I wanted to inform the police but decided to check first, so I waited outside the bar alone. Around 8 p.m., people started coming to the bar, but Opal was still not there. I was running out of patience at this point when I saw Opal in a glittery silver mini dress. Her pink hair looked even shorter than before. She was looking so happy and carefree while I was depressed, tired, and exhausted, and these past few days were extremely hard on me. I opened the door of my car as discreetly as possible and followed my wife Opal. She went inside the bar and was chilling with a group of people I had never seen before. Before approaching her, I wanted to observe her behavior. Opal put her bag near the music station and then sat on a stool at the bar to order a drink. She was laughing with the bartender, indicating she worked there, and she knew almost everyone. After having a drink, she went to her music station and began playing music. She was dancing and laughing to the beat of the music. The bar was full at this point. People were dancing and chatting. And I was shocked to see how cruel Opal could be. She had left not only her husband but also her daughter, and here she was dancing with no sign of worry on her face. I recorded everything. The way she was dancing and laughing, and when I had enough proofs, I approached her. She was so shocked to see me, she couldn't speak for a minute. She wasn't expecting me there. So I took her arm and dragged her towards the parking spot so no one would see us. I was so angry I couldn't control myself and slapped Opal and told her how worried we were and how the police were now involved. She got scared because she hadn't seen me this angry before. For her, I was this calm and collected husband who tolerated her every stupidity. She remained silent and came home with me in my car. When I arrived home, I sent those videos of dancing I recorded of Opal to her parents, who were blaming me. Then I asked Opal to give her statement to the police and leave our house. She gave her statement to the police. But instead of leaving our house, she started crying and telling me that she had this DJ job offer and she had been doing this as a freelancer. But she was scared to tell me that's why she left. When I asked her about the money, she said she knew I wouldn't approve her job as a DJ, so she left to pursue her dream. She kept crying and asking for forgiveness, but my heart wasn't ready to listen to her excuses. I wanted to give her a hard time at least, so I stopped talking to her. 2 days after her return to our house from the bar job, we didn't talk, and after 2 days, I knew I needed a break from what had happened. I needed a break from Opal because I didn't know if she would ever come back if that guy didn't tell me about where she was. I didn't know how much more I'd have to suffer. I didn't know what police would do to me, but I knew how traumatic these past few days had been for me, so I told her we needed a break and she should go to her parents. My behavior was so cold that Opal knew I was serious, so she packed her bags and left to her parents' house, and this time she took our daughter. She said she needed time with her. Opal's parents called me and apologized and told me I could come anytime to meet my daughter. I continued to visit my daughter every other week, but Opal and I were separated for 6 months. During this time, I noticed a change in Opal's behavior because her parents also scolded her for what she did. She had given time to our daughter. She kept apologizing whenever I visited. And when our daughter's birthday approached, she begged me and said she wanted to start over and she would give her all to our relationship. She promised me that. And I took her back because I wanted to give her a chance because of our daughter. She came back and this time she was a changed woman. She paid special attention to our home and our marital life. She did everything to make me content. She stopped going to different protests. Instead, she started her blog so that she wouldn't have to leave our daughter. We were on the right track and were living a traditional married life because we had resumed our traditional gender roles. I was so happy with my life and Opal, who changed herself for us. That's how our marriage worked for 10 years. We both compromised for each other and for our daughter so that we could both be there for her. We both worked hard and took vacations every year to different countries during our daughter's summer vacation. That was our little family fun. But last year, I booked our trip to Bali and Indonesia. Everything was booked, but Opal announced that she couldn't come and she had to be present at home for her work, and the annual sale of the brand she was working on was happening on. So she couldn't manage. I was upset because my daughter Jetta was upset as well. She wanted us to go, so I told Jetta that we could still go and Mama would join us whenever she was free. Jetta is a good girl. She was upset but didn't want to miss our fun vacation. We both packed our bags and left. We were having so much fun in Bali, but whenever we tried video calling Opal, she would end the call in 5 minutes by giving us an excuse of her excessive workload. We were so busy exploring Bali and different places that we didn't notice her strange behavior. I thought she was genuinely busy, but when my daughter Jetta called her grandparents, Opal's mother and father, from the vacation, they insisted that Opal was with us. Saying Opal told them she was in Bali with us, I assumed her parents had dementia and ignored what they were saying as Jetta was laughing, thinking her grandparents were joking because her mother,
Opal, was not with us in Bali. We didn't pay any attention to Opal while we were in Bali. We went to Kuta Beach, Bali Safari and Marine Park. We took a water slide, played with sands, and enjoyed our adventure. We also enjoyed Ubud Monkey Forest. Yetta and I were so happy. I was happy to spend that time alone with my daughter, even though we missed Opal. But we were enjoying ourselves. When we returned from our vacation, Opal was as normal as she could be, greeting us at the airport with flowers and chocolates. After returning, got busy with our routine lives. I with my job, Yetta with her school, and Opal with home and her online work. A week later, I started arranging for dinner for Labor Day. I love Labor Day because it gives me free time to relax with friends, and we get to appreciate everyone's hard work. I decided to have a dinner party at my house. Opal invited a few of her friends as well. On Labor Day, I purchased fresh meat and vegetables, chocolates and dessert. I set up my backyard for the dinner. Opal said she would make apple pie and homemade cake. Since our oven was inside the kitchen, she was arranging all the ingredients there, while the dinner setup was in the backyard. That evening my friends came with their families, but my friend Alex came alone. I asked why his wife didn't come, and he ignored the question by saying he was there and I must enjoy his company. Everyone laughed at his joke. It was true. I was happy that at least he joined us. We were all chatting and sharing jokes. Opal was beaming with happiness and laughing with everyone. I was moving sofas and tables from inside to the outdoors, and my friend Alex said he would help me. When we went inside to bring the sofa, he said new sofa, and I said oh yeah. Then he said that he liked the old one more, and I was shocked because no one had seen our old sofa. This was the first time after years that I invited my friends. And I thought Alex was talking about someone else's sofa, so I ignored what he was saying. We brought sofas and chairs and tables outside and put food on the table. Everyone was having dinner and sharing our old stories when Opal said she was going to bring her pie and cake. She went inside, but I and our friends continued our talk. Little ones were catching fireflies. Everybody was enjoying when I noticed Alex was missing. I thought he left the dinner party and thought to go into the house to bring cake that Opal was taking the time to bring out there. When I went inside, I heard Alex laughing. I opened the door discreetly and was shocked to see my wife Opal and Alex in an inappropriate pose. Alex was telling her that the last time he was here, he enjoyed this cake more because no one else was there. I was shocked to hear this, and now I understand why and how Alex knew about our old sofa, which was there when I was on vacation. I had only recently purchased a new one. I entered the kitchen angrily, and Opal became white when she saw me. She flung the cake on the floor. That's how anxious she looked. I started beating Alex, and he said he had fun with Opal while I was away to make me more upset since my beating damaged his ego. So he confessed in order to boost his ego. I kicked him out of my house and Opal started sobbing. She was having a full-blown emotional meltdown because I was going to embarrass her in front of everyone, which I did. I started shouting and letting everyone know. Even my daughter understood what her mother committed. Updates. After I caught my wife with my friend on Labor Day, I filed for a divorce the next day. Opal kept crying and saying she sacrificed 10 years for this marriage, didn't want to break her home, and claimed it was a mistake. She said Alex contacted her and that she couldn't leave her daughter. She argued that she deserved a chance and put all the blame on Alex. I don't care how wrong Alex is. My wife was equally involved in the cheating, if not more. I couldn't bear her lies and excuses anymore. She threatened to kill herself, but I didn't want to be emotionally blackmailed. I threw her out of my house and stopped attending her calls. She then started emailing me, telling me how she sacrificed her youth for me and that she could still get any man but was willing to stay with me. It seemed like she didn't feel real guilt. The only guilt she felt was that she sacrificed over a decade of her life on our marriage. She kept reminding me of this, as if I forced her to stay with me. This time, I proceeded with the divorce. My daughter is old enough to choose, and she wanted to stay with me, which she did. I won full custody of my only daughter, and this is all I cared about, a caring, fun, intelligent daughter who understands her father and her surroundings. I didn't want to separate my daughter from her mother, which is why I kept forgiving Opal, but this time I couldn't. I knew our marriage and home were already broken, and our daughter didn't deserve a mom who cheated on her father. Opal now lives with her old parents, who hate her for what she did. Her parents took my side and blamed Opal for breaking the marriage. My daughter sometimes visits them, but she loves her dad more than anything. Please tell me if I did the right thing by finally divorcing Opal or if I should give her another chance for my daughter's sake. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps me keep sharing. See you next time.